Hello everybody, welcome to the core content lecture. This one will be focusing on TPDs,
Jacob Speculates
also known as
2026
tournament
mentorship available.
price
If you're interested or want to
divergences.
demand any types of course DM at
So
Telegram
getting
link in
started with
description
the
box.
table
If the
of
link doesn't
contents,
work, copy and paste it will work.
firstly we will be going over the TPD basics to jog your memory in case you forgot anything. And then after that, we will discuss timely TPDs. And then finally, deciphering high probability TPDs. So getting started with TPD basics. So if you don't know, a TPD is simply a cracking correlation between a specific sequence of candles between two different assets. So if we look on the left, there are three candles within one asset. And if we look on the right, there are three candles within one asset as well. So in short, right, a TPD is just a cracking correlation between the close of candle 1 and the open of candle 3 within the three candle sequence. And there's a free YouTube video on this in case you haven't seen it. I'm not going to go into too great of detail on it, but this is what a TPD is and the basics of it. So now, looking at timely TPDs. So not every single TPD is of importance. Only specifically timed TPDs truly matter. And this is for intraday trading only, right? This isn't for confirming SMTs or confirming other cracking correlations. This is just using TPD in and of itself as it is and utilizing that for day trading. So firstly, we have the 12 a.m. 6-hour TPD. Now, why is this important? Well, if 12 a.m. prints a 6-hour TPD, right, as candle number 2. So if you look on the right side of your screen, you know we have candle 1, candle 2, and candle 3. If candle 2 is a 6-hour candle and it is 12 a.m., more times than not, the third candle will print a daily cycle sequential SMT on candle 2's high or low, depending on the narrative for the day. Now the next sequence is a 2 a.m. 4-hour TPD. So just like with the 6-hour candle, right, if that second candle over there within the 3 candle sequence, if you're looking on a 4-hour chart and that second candle is 2 a.m., within the 6 a.m. candle, which would be candle number 3, you are anticipating a daily cycle sequential SMT to occur. Now moving on to the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock 1-hour TPDs. So if that second candle is any of these times, right, on a 1-hour chart, then on candle number 3, you are anticipating a 90-minute cycle sequential SMT. And finally, we have the 9:15 and the 9:30 15-minute TPDs. So if you see, candle number 2, print a 15-minute TPD at 9:15 or 9:30, more times than not, you can expect a micro cycle sequential SMT. So, like I said, in terms of day trading, you can just run through the checklist, right? Whenever you open up your charts in the morning, okay, did 12 a.m. form a 6-hour TPD? Yes or no? If it did, then you can expect, a daily cycle sequential SMT. And then, run down the list, okay? Did the 2 a.m. 4-hour candle create a TPD? If the answer is yes, then you'll look for, in the morning session, a daily cycle sequential SMT, and so on and so forth. So going down the checklist, if you don't see any of the TPDs, right, you just move on lower and lower and lower as time progresses on throughout the day. So now that we understand what times we're looking for TPDs, how do you know if a TPD is actually high probability? So let's take a focus on candle number 2. So let's say here we have a 8 o'clock 1-hour TPD, right? 8 a.m. Well, in order to know if the TPD is high probability, it'll have the price action within the TPD gives you greater detail. So let's put a time axis on this. So let's say this is 8 o'clock, this is 8:30, and this is 9 o'clock, right? So we have the open of the candle, the middle of the candle, and the close of the 8 o'clock 1-hour candle. Generally, a high probability TPD will have this same characteristic right here. And that characteristic is a change in the state of delivery, particularly within the second half of the candle. Right, so here we have the opening, price trades higher, right, price drops lower, and then 8:30 comes about, which marks the second half of the 8 o'clock 1 hour TPD. Right, price trades higher, closing through this down close candle right here, marking a change in the state of delivery. And combining this with narrative is how you get very, very, very accurate. And you'll be able to see extremely good results. Now, if you're looking within a TPD, right, and there's no change in the state of delivery, or there is a change in the state of delivery that is opposing what you have in mind as the narrative, then that is low probability, right? So, in short, a high probability TPD will have a change in the state of delivery within the same direction as the current narrative within the second half of the actual TPD candle. So now you're probably wondering, well, what time frame do I use for actually looking inside the TPD? Well, the time frame alignment goes as follows. So if you have a 6-hour TPD, then you move to a 1-hour chart. If you have a 4-hour TPD, then you look within the 1-hour chart. If you have a 1-hour TPD, then you look within the 15-minute chart. And finally, if you have a 15-minute TPD, then you look within the 5-minute chart. So very easy to understand, right? But just knowing this alone makes a huge difference in understanding and being selective on which TPDs you know should or shouldn't work, right? It's more important to know when to sit out and when to scratch something off than to immediately want to just, boom, jump the gun and hop into something. So with that being said, hopefully you all found this one insightful. Good luck and good trading.